we are going to cover an exciting demonstration live of how we can leverage multiple generative AI tools all together to create an amazing web page in just a few minutes. The goal of this demo is to engage you into combining those tools, being creative in how one tool can kickstart your journey with another one, and see also how multiple capabilities can be merged towards a final creation. I will use a combination of text models like Claude and ChatGPT, image models like Recraft, Midjourney, or Dall-E, code interpreters and software generator like Replit, and even video generator like Runway. I'm going to show all of these so that we get a final beautiful creation. Let's get started. First of all, I'm going to use one of my favorite models called Claude. It's built by Anthropic, and it has some cool capability that you can get some code, but also getting the code immediately visualized on the side. So let's start with a simple prompt. Create a fantastic website to advertise my course on universal AI. Use HTML and CSS, so those are two languages, and give me the most incredible visual aesthetics. What's important is to include those incredible, fantastic, beautiful words, because the model is suggested to look into how it can be really nice. Because when it was trained, those words were often associated with content of high quality. So I want to remind the model with my words of creating something that would be similar. Let's just get started with this simple prompt and let's see what's happening. Right now, the model has been processing this. And what's interesting with Claude is that on the side, it will now give you the code. And you can see that it generates the code token by token and goes very fast. Notice that it's indeed in HTML and CSS. Whether you know or don't know about that, what will matter is your ability to interact with the AI and to visualize the outcomes if you're satisfied. You can guide the AI towards something you can judge. Maybe you cannot judge the quality of the code, but you can judge the quality of how it renders ultimately. So here I have my web page, and it's already looking pretty cool. For instance, I have the nice text and font. I have little movement when I hover the mouse, 50 plus hours of content, and even a button where I can click and enroll now. If I click, nothing happens. It's because the model has only created the first page. So let's say now I want to change the color. I want something more in the colors of MIT. The model is so well trained that it does know that MIT is typically using red and gray. We shall see if it works. And make it even better and more incredible and fantastic. Nothing too sophisticated in my prompt, but here the idea is to work iteratively with the tool. By just asking the model to make it much better, the model will start to think, hey, what's possible for something that will look great? Again, it says, okay, I'm going to redesign and use MIT's iconic color, red and gray, so it does know about it. And now it's going to regenerate. Notice that the flow was, you get something started, and you can give specific feedback on what you want. Here I was quite vague, but you would be able to feel free to tell the model, okay, I want more logos, I want to include a picture at the top, etc. So it's generating. You can see that the code is getting a bit longer. It's probably because it's trying to be more aesthetic, so it needs to code those aesthetics. In the meantime, let's create some visual design. So I'm now going to GPT, and I want to use the image generation from ChatGPT. It's called Dall-E. So let's start a chat, and I will say, create amazing visuals for my course on universal AI. And here I can put the ratio 16:9, and I'm starting this. Notice that the way Dall-E operates is taking what you want, internally figuring out a good prompt for the diffusion models that we have covered, and then giving you some outcomes. So let's look at it. It's looking fancy indeed. You have like a robot and colors like galaxies. It took the idea of universal into an actual universe. So that's an interesting take. Here you have a robot meditating and AI even written. So those images look nice. Let's take this one to download it because I'm going to reuse it somewhere else. But I also want to know, what prompt did you use? And my goal is to see how other models are going to react with the same prompt. It turns out that this is valuable for me to have a prompt already crafted with Dall-E because I don't have to make any effort for my own prompt now. I'm not telling you that you should never make effort to craft your prompt, but that if you don't have anything specific in mind, that can be useful to kickstart your journey if you are in your learning process with prompting, so that you don't feel overwhelmed. So I'm now going to Recraft, which is one of my favorite models too. I'm going to create a new project, an image, and I'm going to paste the prompt. You can choose the style. For instance, you want something photorealistic, illustration. So let's say I want something illustration. You can also choose the format. So let's say I also want something in 16:9. And then I'm going to click on Recraft. In the meantime, I'm also going to Midjourney and I'm going to create images as well. Midjourney operates on the platform Discord, and you type image in plus your prompt. And I also want something in 16:9. Notice that those three tools all use diffusion models, but they have different interfaces and also different capabilities. But the technology operates on similar principles to what we covered previously. While those models are creating, let's look at our web page. And I can even publish this. I'm going to copy the link, create a new web page, open a new web page. And now this is what I see. I do have the colors of MIT. I have more things and it's even more design. Like when I hover the mouse, I can see things moving. You can see that things are even jumping a little bit. The course curriculum. Notice that the model hallucinated the course content. It's because I did not give anything and you can totally adapt that. But it's a real example of AI trying to go ahead of what you will include in such website because I was so vague. And you can click on begin your journey. Notice a little bug that the universal AI at the very top is overlapping with the banner. So that's a little issue and the model does not know about that. So what I will do is that I will take a screenshot of how it looks like. I'm going back to Claude and I'm going to upload a screenshot. And I'm going to tell the model the universal AI text is not well visible. Update website. It's that simple, but because the model cannot see, just knows the code, it helps the model to guide it with a picture because you can see this with your eyes, but the model cannot. By including a screenshot, you help the model recovering vision. So now the model is generating and updating everything. And indeed, it's already a bit better. It's still not solved completely. I would say not solved completely. Re-update. While this happens, let's look into our images. Let's look into what I got from Recraft. And then you see it's another take to Universal AI. It's a robot that looks more like cyberpunk vibe, and the planet in the background. A bit scarier also than what I got with Dall-E. I'm going to save the image because I may reuse it later. And now let's look at Midjourney. Midjourney also operates under a similar type, but this time it's more like a futuristic android with lots of stars behind. You can see that those models reacted more or less similarly to the prompt, and it depends on how they were curated by the founders of those models. I'm also going to select one of my favorite here. I think I like maybe the fourth one better. So I'm going to ask for upscaling the fourth one to the maximum quality. Notice you can also ask for a zoom out. I'm going to zoom out. And in the meantime, I also want to create a little movie. So I'm going back to Dall-E. I want to download this. I'm now going to Runway Machine Learning, which is a video generator. And I'm going to upload a picture. So I'm going to upload the picture created by Recraft. And I'm going to say, animate, lots of movement, super fancy, stars everywhere, future universe. I do this for fun. Maybe it's not professional enough for the webpage you would want to create, but my goal here is to illustrate how I use those models. And I can ask for 5 seconds of video with this image as an input as well. So it's image plus text prompting to get a video. And I can also decide that this picture, instead of being the first one in my sequence, should be the last one. And I'm also going to generate 5 seconds of that. Let's look into also my zooming out from Midjourney. They're all very similar, as you can see, very small variations. It's your style to choose which one you prefer. Me, it's the third one for very subtle reason. I don't even think it's more about how my intuition feels. I'm going to save this image as well. Going back now to Runway, I'm going to select and I'm going to upload that image. And I'm going to use the exact same prompt just to see what I get out of it. And I'm going to do this one more time, this time with my Dall-E picture. So same thing, first one, 5 seconds. So now let's look at our videos. That's the one from my Recraft picture. And you can see that it created sort of a boomerang effect, interestingly. It zoomed in and zoomed out. And honestly, it's quite smooth, few errors, and you can see a 3D aspect. So that can be to your liking. Let's look at the other version, where this time I want this to be the last frame. The model made just a tiny bit of movement, but it created sort of an effect around the planet Earth. Now let's look at the one I got from the Midjourney picture. Oh, this one has much more interesting effect. You can see like there is a whole effect of light coming all around. So I actually like this one. It's quite fancy. And let's look at the one from Dall-E. Interesting as well because there is a change of perspective and things are blending. And overall, what's the conclusion here? Those models get even more complicated because now you want to generate a video and it lacks the proper capability to really create the video the way I would want. I haven't given a lot of details, of course, here, but those models are still limited in their ability to really stick to the advice, and they make a lot of sort of editing choices on their own. The way I try to leverage this is I know which image will probably already give me a pretty good video. I know this in advance, so when I choose an image I will input, I try to take that into account. I include the words that I think will be helpful. And then I just try over and over until I get a satisfying result. So this is really a trial and error process, an intuition you're building, and the involvement of prompt engineering. In interest of time, I won't keep exploring, but Runway has lots of cool features. Let's go back to our website, and now the problem has been solved. I have my universal AI appearing completely and a whole nice website. Notice that all of this is code, and you can leverage that code. Now you can tell the model, I want to include a picture as the background behind universal AI, named image1.png. Below, include a video named video.mp4. Redo the whole code. So here, I just created nice content, images, and I want to include it into my web page. The problem with Claude is that it's not a capability that the model currently has to be able to incorporate directly content you would upload. It can give you the code, but it cannot execute if you upload your own things. This is why I need to move on into another tool. For instance, a tool called Replit. So I will go to Replit. My goal here is not to teach you about this tool specifically, but just to illustrate that you can visualize how a code will appear ultimately, which will help you debug if there is any issue, even though you don't even necessarily have skills in CSS or HTML. But because you know how to talk to AI, you have a vision of what you want, you'd be able still to perform very well. So I have my whole code here. I'm going to copy paste that code. I'm now going to Replit, and I'm going to create a new website here. So it's just going to be empty. Don't mind all the details about how should files be organized. Just remember that my idea is I want to see how it appears, and I'm going to use a software that can render that. So here I uploaded the code in the index.html, which is the base file for a website, and I need to upload some content. So I'm going to click here, upload file, and maybe I want to upload the picture. Here, I need to rename it because I said it would be image1.png. And I need to get a video. This one was my favorite, so I'm going to download the video. I'm going back over there, and I'm going to upload it as well, and renaming it video.mp4. So now is the moment of truth. Is it looking nice? So I will ask the model to execute my index.html file. Okay, let's look at it. I indeed have my picture now appearing, and honestly, it blends very well. And below, I have the video. You can see that the video does not appear perfectly. Is it because of a bug that I don't know about? It looks like there is something to solve. It's possible it would have worked immediately and I would have been lucky, but very often I have little bugs involved. The picture looked very good. Like, honestly, this web page looks already fantastic. Now I do want to solve this video problem. So what can I do again? I can take a screenshot. So I'm going to upload my screenshot showing that it doesn't work. I would say the video doesn't work. And let's see what the model tells me. In the meantime, in fact, I do know why it doesn't work. It's because I did not properly name my file. Here, this should be named video.mp4. And I bet that now it will work. I mean, hopefully. Yes, you can see that the video works. It was because I did not name the file properly. That's a very naive, innocent bug that may happen a lot of times. And here you have two ways of figuring it out. Maybe, it's a classic mistake. And then here I happen to check. It's also possible that your code did not leverage the file as video.mp4, but maybe video1.mp4. So you just have to check. But this is where you need to do a bit of investigation. And here I'm checking, okay, where is video.mp4 appearing in the code? Maybe the name was not set properly. Here, let's look at what was the advice of the Claude. Claude does not necessarily know what mistake could have happened. So they propose to include a YouTube video instead. That could be a good way if you have some trouble figuring it out. But now the beautiful news is that I have a working website. Notice, however, that when I jump on my website, the video does not play automatically. So that's also something you can tell the model. The video does not play automatically when I start can you make sure that it works in a loop and plays automatically? I won't necessarily do it in interest of time, but that's the kind of exercises that I encourage you to do to end up with a beautiful, nice web page. To conclude this, I also want to show you how the future of software engineering may look like. AI can, of course, help you code so many things. And there is so many tools already to assist you as copilots. But you can even ask from scratch to, for instance, this Replit agent framework to create a web page without even having you to be involved in the whole coding process. This is called an agentic workflow. You have multiple AIs working together, orchestrated and planned such that they can collaborate and each be responsible for different pages of your website or potentially different components of the code. Multi-agent systems are one of the most exciting areas these days in large language models because they enhance the capabilities and opportunities you can tackle. Think really about having a team of AI agents that can all be specialized in different domains. You make sure that they collaborate properly and they can give you valuable outputs. So expect a lot of exciting content coming from the big tech groups in the next few years. So here I asked a Replit agent to build this web page. It tells me, what do you want to include? Okay, I want to include a course preview, testimonials, carousel, and interactive course curriculum. Sounds good. Here the model does not really know what I really wanted because I was very vague. So it asks, okay, do you want this, or that? And now it gets to the creation. It's creating the skeleton of the whole code in multiple languages. So it was a Python file. Now I have an HTML file. And it keeps going. And you can see the model knows exactly how to orchestrate this whole package of files, which is incredibly powerful and will happen more and more in the near future. So it will be a new way again to collaborate because you have so many files involved and it's hard to keep track of everything. So the debugging is becoming more challenging, especially because you abandoned a lot of your decision making while it's being built. But what you can still do is evaluating the final outcome. So now everything gets created. Here, this is a file for animations because we want something that's modern and will move. Here, it's a JavaScript file to properly handle the whole organization and design and aesthetic. Here, you have an SVG file to have a little logo that will come to your page. Another one. Now it's installing lots of packages. The model, to be able to build all of this, needs packages pre-implemented and it needs to install them. So it also knows exactly what needs to be installed. Now it's configuring everything. Now it's taking a screenshot to check how it looks like. That's a new feature because the model does not know if it appears good. So it takes a screenshot such that it recovers vision, and then now from the vision, it can keep going by itself. And I indeed have an amazing web page now that looks indeed very professional. You can click on enroll now. Things are moving nicely, and you can even enroll. So even let's start to click to see if it happens. It does work. It brings me to enroll now. If I click on features, it brings me here, and it's responsive to my mouse, and you can go to contact. Still a few things to solve. Potentially here the colors don't match that well. It's not that visible. But that's totally something you can arrange by telling the model. So look at what we built in about half an hour. An incredible amount of content, a web page using multiple techniques. We created videos and images. This is so exciting. Keep exploring all those capabilities. And I think we're up for an incredible future altogether. Keep exploring. That's my final word to you.